My name's Chris, I'm a businessman, part-time model, and today I'll share with you my hair care tips. I have quite high levels of stress in my job. There's a number of people that work for me and I'm responsible for them and the complete business. To de-stress, I try to meditate. In Thailand it's quite easy to get long massages at low cost, and I leave my work at work and try to relax at home. Having a full head of hair helps me with confidence in a few areas of my life. The first is I wouldn't be able to model if I didn't have good thick hair. The second is that it helps me retain a youthful appearance, which is quite good as I age, and also it's one less thing to worry about. I use a caffeine-based shampoo as natural and organic as possible. A lot of cheaper products are quite easy to lather, and you might think that they're cleaning more easily, but I'd go for as natural as possible. No parabens and things like that. The process I go through when cleaning my hair is I started about 30 years ago, and at school I had a dandruff problem. I remember the exact time when I was in the German class, shaking my hair like this and seeing what looked like a snowstorm. And at the time there was some products like Head and Shoulders that were sort of designed against dandruff, but it didn't really make sense to me. The dandruff was actually skin cells, and it just occurred to me that was coming from my scalp. And so when you normally wash your hair, you're washing your hair, not washing your scalp. So I asked myself, how do I best wash my scalp so that those dead skin cells would be shed in the shower and not on my desk at school? And so what I started using was a comb with quite sharp fingers on it, and I would drag it across my scalp as part of my hair cleaning routine. And it turns out that might have helped keep the thick hair I have by stimulating the blood flow at the scalp as well. So good blood flow at the scalp, thick hair, no dandruff, and it's just down to scraping your scalp when you clean your hair. And I brought the comb that I use, and this one's I would say this is a good 20 years old, this one. You can see how some of the fingers are missing from it. But there's a fine section and a coarse section. I use the coarse section first, depending on how thick or long my hair is. That's the bit that's broken. And then once I know that I can drag that across my scalp without creating knots, I'll go to the fine section and I'll just drag it down from the crown. I only use the comb to stimulate the blood flow on the scalp, and that's quite enough. Although I do like my head being scratched, so that's a massaging effect. In terms of diet, I would say that when it's not a training day, I'll keep carbs quite low, and then on a training day I'll have more carbs, but it's definitely swayed in favour of fats and protein rather than carbs typically. And we're on lockdown at the moment, so that's a lot more protein and fats and fewer carbs. Well, I don't eat fast food. The last time I went to McDonald's was over 30 years ago, and I much prefer home-cooked food. And we're quite lucky being here in Thailand with the availability of all the carts and the food delivery services. But it's not processed, it's never from a packet, and it's as natural as possible. For hairstyling, I use hair wax, and the brand depends on where I am in the world. The consistency of the wax is quite temperature dependent, so what you find might have a stiff hold in the winter will be too soft in the summer. So I vary that. I typically use Phonex, which comes in a green thing, I think it's Turkish, and that seems to have quite a wide temperature range. But I'm also sometimes used the American Crew fiber product. Usually a typical matte wax. In terms of showering and washing my hair, it also depends where I am. So for instance, here in Thailand now, even with the water on the coldest, it's quite warm. But when I'm in England and the temperature's cold outside, I want to have a hot shower to relax, but I'll always finish on cold, and that goes the same when I'm washing my hair. I'll finish on cold. It just seems to help my scalp feel cleaner. I take food supplements for many reasons. There's quite a few in the range. I take ashwagandha in the evening. I take Lactobacillus reuteri and Lactobacillus rhamnosus, also vitamin D3 and a multivitamin. One of my ex-girlfriends used to tease me for having a proceeding hairline. Just around here there's some little sprouts of hair. I've looked through the Hairguard range and there's a couple of products that have caught my eye. The first is this complete hair biotic that contains some of the supplements that I already take, the rhamnosus and reuteri, and also some other things that should keep my hair looking as it does now. Hairguard also have a caffeine-based shampoo in their range that's all natural and contains all the great things that I would expect a shampoo to have.